let's talk about curriculum picks for my third grader, as I am literally being surrounded by animals. I have a cat over here. Hello, here's my baby. I've got a cat behind the camera. I guess he's manning it for us. And our dog just walked past. I live in a zoo. And it's really hot because our air conditioning is not working. And I live in the south. And it's so hot. But whatever. Moving on. Curriculum picks for third grade for the upcoming 2021-2022 school year. And I can finally say third grade. I've been calling him a third grader all year when he was in second grade. Now I can officially say he's in third grade. So this curriculum picks is really going to be me just chit-chatting with you about what I think we're going to do, because I don't have a lot to hold in my hands for you right now. I need to work on that. I need to start printing some things off. The school year is going to come before I know it. And I have a lot to do this summer. I'm crazy busy with some other things outside of schooling and outside of family, right? Did you know? I have a life. I do things outside of the home sometimes. I didn't even know that about myself. But I'm really busy, and the school year is really going to catch up to me, and I'm feeling a lot of pressure to make sure I'm super prepared for this year. So, for math, we will be using Saxon math again. Worked great the first time. He zoomed through the second half of Saxon 2 and finished Saxon 3 last year, which is why I kept calling him a third grader. So this year he will be in Saxon 5-4. Now there is a big jump between Saxon 3 and Saxon 5-4. I'm a little nervous of how this year is going to go. So I know that there's a chance we may need to take it slow, but he is a great math whiz kid. His head just, oh my gosh, it's amazing to watch him work math, and he loves to do math, so he may do great. We will just have to see. It's just a very different setup. The way it is done, the amount of work that's required, the amount of independent work that's required is a really big jump, and that's what he'll struggle with more than doing the math. Because we can always slow the math down, but the skills, my oldest son, who will be going into 6th grade, actually did 5-4 this past year in 5th grade. And he really struggled with things that he never learned in public school about how to take a test. He had no idea how to take a test. When I give him a test and he has to transpose it basically from the paper onto another sheet of paper, that was mind-blowing for him. To give him a math book with these are the math problems you're supposed to do, and he's supposed to write them on a different sheet of paper, he really struggled with that. So those are the types of things that at least this time I'm a little more prepared to know that my third grader is going to have to learn. I am going to have to walk him through how to do that. I'm going to have to be patient with him and understanding, because he is probably going to have breakdowns. He is not going to want to do it. He doesn't know how to write math problems neatly. We really worked on that last year and it didn't go great. So he's going to have to learn all of those skills. It's not the math that's going to be a problem. It's going to be the skills that are required to actually do this level. So I'm a little nervous about how this next year is going to go. But they have to make that jump at some point. I've also heard that 5-4 moves really fast in comparison to level 3. I don't know why they don't just have anything in between 3 and 5-4. Like they need something in the middle there, I feel like. But if anyone in this family, in this household, can handle the speed at which it moves forward, it would be him. So we will see how that goes. So math, Saxon. We love Saxon. We're a Saxon family. Language arts. He will be doing the Good and the Beautiful level 3, which is why I don't have it, because levels 1 through 5 are free online PDF. I bought level 4 for my oldest son because he literally has to write on every page. But in levels 2, which he did last year, and 3, which we did with my oldest this past year, he only had to write on the independent worksheets. All the other pages were parent read, parent led, and I saw no reason to print them off. If we needed to look at a painting because we were discussing that, or if he needed to read a poem or something in the book, we just did it on the computer to save ink, to save money, to save our paper. All of those things came into play in making the decisions of what to print and what not to print. So I only go through and print the independent practice pages. So that's why I don't have it for you, because I haven't printed it for next year yet, because I usually print them out about a week ahead of time. If I print out any more than that, chances are they'll get dropped. I don't know how many times he dropped his notebook this past year and everything just fell out of it. So we'll be on level 3. I was not in love with level 3 last year with my oldest, but I think it was because he was on the wrong level. He was too low. And so I felt like a lot of what we were talking about was just redundant and kind of boring. But I am seeing growth. And so because of that, I'm going to trust the process. And for all I know, I will really love level 3 with my son when he is on level. So we'll have to see how it goes. See, I'll let you know. Along with that, as part of his, I guess, part of his language arts, we have handwriting from the good and the beautiful. I'm putting him in level 3. We kind of dipped our toes into cursive with him last year, but he didn't really like it and didn't really want to. So this year, level 3, 3rd grade is where I remember starting to learn cursive. So this one is where they will start to learn cursive. And so we will just see how this goes. I've heard rave reviews about their handwriting programs. We didn't do a handwriting program last year. I just kind of did my own handwriting with them, and it didn't go amazingly well. I kind of hated it. So I'm hoping this will go better, and that hopefully it will help, because both my boys have, let's go with interesting handwriting. So along with handwriting, I was on the fence with this for a long time, but I have finally made the decision that he's also going to do typing 1. My oldest is doing typing, and I kind of was thinking, well, my level 3 kid doesn't need to do typing. He just needs to work on his handwriting. But honestly, he doesn't love writing. He struggles with just sitting down and putting it on paper. But when I let him do his writing assignments on the computer, suddenly he can write a lot more. He can do it much easier. It doesn't suddenly turn him into a stellar writer, but it does help. So because of that, I think if he learns to type better, he can do some of his assignments on the computer. And that hopefully will help with his writing. As for his assigned readers, I plan to assign a reader for each unit of history that we do. So 2 of them have been decided on, possibly 3. Number 1, when we do unit 1 of history, that will be ancient Egypt. I am pretty sure I'm going to have him read the Egypt game. I have never read that. I've heard it's really good, and so I'll be reading it later this summer before I assign it to him. For unit 2, during like the Renaissance in England and other stuff, a couple of things. First, I think I'm going to have him read this Robin Hood book. I've had this for a really long time. I've never read it, but what it says is a 21st century classic where author and artist have woven their individual magic to breathe new life into the popular story of the world's most famous outlaws. So it is written not in older English. We do have the actual Robin Hood book, but I glanced through it for half a second and I was like, my boys would not listen to this. But I think he would read this, and it has fun pictures to go with it for him. It really looks, it's really a pretty book. and it doesn't look very hard. So I think I'm gonna let him read Robin Hood. I think that will be fun. I may also assign for him to read the classic starts, King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, because I love the story of King Arthur, and so I want him to read it. So I'm thinking he may do 2 during that unit. Our third unit takes us to the Revolutionary War. I do not have a book picked out for him for that. I'm considering doing I think it's called The Scarlet Stocking Spy or something like that. His older brother is going to be reading a book about a female spy during the Revolutionary War, so I thought it would be kind of fun for him to also read a book about a female spy during the Revolutionary War. As I said in my 6th grade curriculum picks, I like every once in a while for my sons to read books where females are the lead characters. You can find lots of female leads, but most of the books they gravitate towards are obviously male lead characters, and I'm fine with that. But I do think it's good every once in a while for not just girls to read about female leads, but boys to read about female leads too. So I'm really leaning towards this book. Again, it's one I've never read, so I need to kind of look into it and make sure I think it's on his level. The only other things that he's doing, so history and science are group subjects, so I will do a group subject video later. But for his electives, we will be using Easy Peasy All-in-One Homeschool, which is why I don't have anything, because that's on the computer. I haven't decided which time period we're going to do, but we will do art and music with his brother. And then sorry, I don't know what that noise was. I think it was a cat. His typing and handwriting are going to be on a loop, I think with computer, as an elective, because he needs to learn more about how to actually use the computer and the internet as he's getting older. And they have a computer program, a computer elective that walks him through those things. I will also hopefully be doing health and PE with them as well. They have that. So he will be doing 4 electives. One of them is on a loop with these 2. The other 3 will just be done throughout the week as we find time. And I will be scheduling in those times, because this past year I did not have it scheduled in and they did not happen. So those are the individual subject picks for my 3rd grader for the 2021-2022 school year. So good luck in your curriculum picks as well.